British Columbia was part of Gyeomsan, Gold Mountain, to the thousands of Chinese men who first crossed the Pacific with dreams of a better life.
Leaving my parents, wife and children, I have come to Gyeomsan because I am poor. I have always yearned to go to the Gold Mountain, but instead it is hell, full of hardships.
In the early 1880s, 15,000 Chinese came to build the most difficult and dangerous sections of the Canadian Pacific Railway. One Chinese worker died for every mile of track laid between Vancouver and the Rockies. When the line was finished, unemployed railway workers spilled into the emerging Chinatowns.
The Chinese here congregate in one part of the city for companionship. Besides, the Chinese know that the white people have had no friendly feeling towards them.
Juan Alexander Kumiao was the first Chinese person born in Canada. He works at his father's store in Vancouver's Chinatown.
This unfriendliness and want of respect has caused a feeling of want of confidence among the Chinese, and it has certainly not tended to induce them to abandon their own ways and modes of life.
The Chinese perform the only jobs available to them in hand laundries, as cooks, domestics, street vendors. Outside Chinatown, many are suspicious of this unknown, seemingly mysterious society. Typical is the view of W. Leslie Clay, a Presbyterian minister in Victoria.
Canada would be strengthened by exclusion of the Chinese race. It has a tendency to deter white immigration. They depress wages, lower the standard of living. They ignore our religious services. I think they are injurious in present numbers.
To try to stop Chinese immigration, the government sets an entry fee, a $50 head tax. Juan Alexander Kumiao begins speaking out. Now in his 30s, he's doing unusually well. An official courtroom interpreter, he marries one of the few single Chinese women in Vancouver and starts a family.
Unless we have a vote and exercise other privileges where we reside, we will always be looked upon as nobody. But once we have a vote, we have the power.
Instead of giving them rights, the government decides to raise the head tax to $500, 2 years' salary at a sawmill or cannery. In just 1 year, 1905, immigration from China drops from nearly 5,000 to just 8 people. Businesses, too, find ways to cut Chinese workers. A new fish canning machine replaces a crew of 30, the iron chink. Keeping British Columbia white is still proving difficult. While Chinese immigration has almost stopped, thousands continue to arrive from Japan and India. A Vancouver newspaper informs readers about the latest immigrants.
1,177 of the little brown men were on the steamer. The decks were crowded with the swarming Japanese who covered her from stem to stern like a swarm of ants.
On a Saturday night in September 1907, the newly formed Asiatic Exclusion League calls a huge protest rally at City Hall. Half the city turns out. Part of the crowd turns on Chinatown. A reporter witnesses.
The mob soon left the Chinese quarter and headed in the direction of Japtown. The crash of glass was continual. Window after window was shattered in stores and boarding houses as the riotous gang pushed farther into the thoroughfare, lined with nests of Japanese.
For 3 days, Asian homes and businesses are vandalized.
On Saturday night, we get all the windows smashed. And Sunday, we have a few windows broken again. And on Monday night, we were informed there was a party going to set fire to Chinatown. So this is the night Chinese merchants get very afraid.
There are no deaths, but bitter feelings simmer for decades. In the mid-1920s, Chinese immigration is banned outright. The exclusion of Chinese people becomes federal law on July 1st, 1923, Dominion Day. The Chinese would call it Humiliation Day. Another 25 years will pass before Asians are permitted to become Canadians. In 1949, an elderly man becomes the first Chinese person in Canada to cast a ballot. 88-year-old Juan Alexander Kumiao.